Well, I'd like to thank you for coming back today and joining us in our review of Killing of the Sacred Deer. I'm sorry, I don't have much else to say for an intro, but that's what I got. I'm sorry. My name is Keegan, and you guys are?
I'm Levi.
And I'm Chris.
And I had my first period.
Can I see your armpits?
Yeah. Oh, wait,
They're about as hairy as mine.
What about your belly? Is it as hairy as mine?
I think mine's hairier.
Yeah, I think so. Not 3 times though.
So we just watched Killing of a Sacred Deer. It is a movie by Yorgos Lanthimos.
He's a foreign guy. That makes so much sense.
It's made back in the 2017s, and I really enjoyed it. So that's why I picked it to watch. What are you guys thinking?
This was an interesting movie, I would say.
Very interesting. That's why I like it.
Yeah, a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Didn't really know what was going to happen. It had me guessing every second. Because, yeah, I was trying to figure out, like, where it was going and stuff. But I guess I figured it would go one way.
Or the other.
Or the other. But it went one of those ways, and I guess we'll talk about that.
A24 typically makes movies that are a bit off the wall, for the most part.
Or just like, interesting.
This wasn't off
Yeah.
the wall. They spent a lot of time on the ground mostly.
Yeah.
The kids. I guess that would be off the wall if they're on. Never mind.
One thing I really enjoy about this movie is just how they talk. It is very monotone and direct and straight to the point, and they just say what they want to say, and it doesn't weird any of the characters out, but it's definitely awkward to watch, and it's just good and strange.
Did you want
I was
to say?
gonna say, like, yeah, one noticeable thing was the dialogue, and it was very monotone, and it was almost like the way real people talk, even though it was strange. It was strange, but like it was like almost everyday things that they were talking about a lot of times. It wasn't like anything too grand or too. But then there was like also a creepy element to it, where it was like strange and kind of otherworldly, because they were
like saying things that like you normally wouldn't talk
Yes.
about, but in a very like matter-of-fact way.
yeah.
It's so almost like Uncanny Valley. It's so inhuman.
Yeah, it's like an alien is like trying to write a script or something.
Yeah, because it seems off-putting because they're not showing like typical human emotions, especially with like it's like they are so even-keeled, except for those extreme moments where it jumps up, and that's what makes them stand out so much. Like in the scene where Colin Farrell's character like destroys the kitchen.
Oh yeah.
Like for the most part things have been pretty even keeled, and like he only lost his cool like that time, like a couple other times, but like that scene in particular, like he goes from like almost flatlining to like just jumping up to so much aggression and like over the top anger.
Yeah. I just find it a lot of fun listening to them talk like that. And he does the same thing with the lobster, which we might get into, but like it's the non-emotional, emotive way of speaking is like for some reason very entertaining to me.
Well, and just the, like you were saying, sort of the blatant honesty, or like the just like the more sensitive subjects, like the girl being on her period, or like
the arm hair,
like just kind of weird conversational
him
things.
talking about masturbating and stuff like yeah.
Yeah,
just whatever, dude.
Yeah.
Sure, I guess. Or like, I mean, like just the way that certain people behave, even when they're not acting normal, it's still like, well, people in that position probably wouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Martin's mom is like coming on to Colin Farrell's character, he's got beautiful hands. He's got beautiful hands. They're beautiful and clean.
Can you demonstrate what she does on Chris's hands?
Sure, yeah. No, I will not be doing that.
So she starts kissing his hand, and then she starts like sucking on his thumb.
Yeah.
And like, it's just weird.
Yeah.
Because like, of course, it's not like a natural thing. Well, I don't. Depending on who you are, like coming onto a married man, like the typical way that just anybody would like engage with someone like intimately. Like they would lean in for a kiss, or they would like, put their hand on their like knee or something like that, some sort of other signal. But like to do something that weird and like off-putting, and then he just kind of like, he doesn't freak out, he just kind of like
leaves.
pulls his hand away and just gets up and like walks. She's like hold on, like, and she's like, I really got to get home, like just not acknowledging at all what happened is so weird.
Yeah, and then there's like this like it becomes a big part of the movie, but it's like so nonchalant, like the fantasy element of like suddenly the children are going through these 3 phases of like almost like a spell is on them.
Yeah, and he just drops the
Yeah,
he just says,
he just tells them what it is. He's like, your kids are gonna lose their ability to walk. They're going to not want to eat.
Yeah.
They won't accept food, and then
is bleeding from the eyes. That's stage 3. Once the bleeding happens, it's only a matter of hours before they die. Okay, there. I have nothing more to say unless you've any questions.
Should we give a little more context of like the plot of the story? Because
probably.
like, hopefully people have seen this if they're watching this review.
Yeah.
But like,
it's basically the Colin Farrell supposedly was drunk during an operation.
he's a heart surgeon.
Yeah. A patient died under his care, and it was this kid's father, and this kid has been hanging out with Colin Farrell, like, he's like kind of taking him under his wing, and then suddenly this kid is just like, so because you accidentally killed my father, there has to be some sort of like balancing in the universe, so either all your family is gonna die through these weird events, yeah. Or you just kill one of them and then everything will be evened out. So it's like an eye for an eye sort of situation. A sacred deer for a sacred deer.
So when the movie first opens up, it opens up on a heart that's beating and it's open, like he's doing open heart surgery.
I forgot that's how it opened.
And
too.
we were eating when this happened, and I am not liking Keegan for that. He should have warned us.
I forgot that's how it opened.
Because it's pretty. I don't know if it was like real or what it was. I don't.
It was incredibly realistic.
Yeah.
If it wasn't.
I know, and I'm pretty squeamish with stuff like that too. Yeah. So I was also like, oh, I forgot how this opened.
But that was interesting. I guess it was a nice visual. I think we could talk about the visuals because there was some interesting ones.
Yeah.
I think
shot really well.
Yeah, a lot of it was, and this makes a good movie. It was shot well with nice little shots. There's one that I think we all kind of know, as Chris well kind of, but it's when the daughter is singing. They go on a walk, her and the boy,
yeah.
and she's at the tree singing, and like it's just a really beautiful sunset kind of, and a really nice framing of the shot.
Very like picturesque.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's also like, I really like how it's framed when both of the kids in different scenes lose their ability to walk, like for the
Mm-hmm.
well, it's not the first time, but like the son has been at the hospital and they've been doing tests and he seems fine, and they're going down the like escalator or whatever.
It has
and
like
then,
a above shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just looking straight down and he just like falls over. And I was like, this is good.
That kid hits the ground a lot.
Yeah. Poor guy. Hope his knees are okay.
Another bloody. Do you see when? Well, at least the girls were.
Oh, okay, when she was crawling away, why didn't she just crawl on the grass?
Yeah.
That would have been.
Why didn't they just put some knee pads on?
Why couldn't she just get up and walk? What an idiot.
But I do like the implication that he's like controlling them. Because she's talking on the phone with him because the girl likes the boy who's torturing them, basically.
It's so weird.
And she calls him and he tells her to come to the window so he can wave at her or something. And she is able to get up and walk to the window. And then as soon as he like gets off the phone with her, she falls back down like on the bed to like when she's trying to get back.
And simultaneously, the little brother thinks that he can get up.
Yeah.
Because he like feels like, but then he doesn't get there in enough time, and he falls down off the bed, and yeah.
Well, yeah, and it seems like she's so like taken with him that it's like she's a part of it. Because she says to her mom in that like in the hospital scene, like when they have their like little argument, which was weird, and like because she like didn't say anything, but her mom thought she was like back talking her.
Well, she did say a swear word, I think.
Yeah, she said "fuck you."
Yeah.
I guess that counts. So she gets her phone taken away, and she's like, you just got to make sure that when this happens to you, things are within your reach. It's not so bad. She's like, you'll find out. You'll get sick too.
Well, and I feel like that's almost that could be almost interpreted as the boy controlling her then too, because that sounds like something he would say.
Yeah.
It didn't really sound like what the daughter would say.
Right.
So that's there's a little bit you get a little interpretive with it.
I remember speaking of just saying things out. They're at their home, but they're still in the beds, and she goes, "Hey, I've lost my MP3 player 2 times. Can I have yours when you're dead?" to the little brother, and she just says it out. It's just another example of when they just say things with no emotion.
Well, and the brother before that was saying like, yeah, Mom and Dad bought me a piano. It's going to be here next month.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't want to tell you because they thought you'd be upset. Like them saying to each other like, well, Mom and Dad have already decided to kill you, so, just so you know, wink, wink. Like, it's so hostile and, like, just crazy.
Yeah. It's strange. I love it.
Colin Farrell's character has, like, a weird fetish of, like...
His wife being on anesthesia.
Yeah, like, and being, like, knocked out. And then he just has his way with her. That's interesting.
I'm sure a lot
I mean,
of
whatever. I guess whatever you're into.
Let us know in the comments if any of you doctors are into that.
Yeah, it's like this weird trance that they're under. Like they won't eat, or like it's just because they don't really give you a reason why it's happening.
Yeah, they do a bunch of tests at the doctor at
Yeah.
the hospital,
It's like magic.
Yeah, weird. Also, I pointed it out when we were watching it. I was surprised that Alicia Silverstone was in this.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I know her.
Because I didn't
And we're
recognize her at first, and then when they were watching Groundhog Day, his favorite movie, and then he gets up halfway through it because he's tired. So he just leaves the two of them like to sit there alone.
He was really excited for some reason.
Well, I was like, oh, it's her. Like because I just didn't notice it when they were eating dinner and stuff, and I was
Batman
like,
and
oh,
Robin fan over here.
yes,
That's the one she's in, right?
yeah.
I was kind of searching for like a deeper meaning to the whole thing, and it was kind of hard to do. Like I was trying to think of my brain of what this was based off of or whatever.
Well, apparently it's based off of like a Greek story
Yeah.
where someone kills like a sacred deer, and so
I
they
kind of
have to,
snuck
like-
on my phone and looked that up really quickly, so I don't really know exactly.
it's just like a modern retelling of a Greek story or
Yeah.
something.
Oh, that makes so much sense now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently, I think I read a while back that like the whole monotone is to like make you so you don't feel like you're on anyone's side,
Okay.
because everyone's like kind of like, you know, on
Everyone's
the
kind of
same-
a jerk too. It's like even if they weren't talking monotone, like
so you don't like sympathize
not
with anyone,
yeah, all of
and
them are just kind of
just
selfishly.
kind of go like, oh, that kind of makes sense that he would want revenge, that
Sure.
he was the guy was drinking while working on his dad's heart, and his dad died because of that, so that's why he wants revenge. That makes sense.
And I like how the the dad was blaming the anesthesiologist, and the anesthesiologist was blaming the dad, and so like no one was like taking responsibility for the
Yeah.
thing. They're trying to distance themselves from the
Yeah.
whole thing.
The music was
Yeah, that was the one. Yeah.
wild. Just a lot of like dun, dun,
Well, and it
dun,
like almost felt inappropriate at times, and like,
yeah.
and then like it's just another element of the movie that's supposed to make you uneasy and feel like it's strange and off kilter and all that.
Yeah.
The whole time, the whole movie stressed me out.
Yeah. There's a
Like
lot-
I felt so anxious and like just oh
It
man,
did its job then.
yeah.
yeah. I
Like
guess, go ahead.
there's a part where he tries to force his son to eat a donut, and then like after the son is just sitting there, and it's just like, like just a horn comes out of nowhere, and just like almost like interrupts the shot, you know, like it's so intrusive. Some of the like the scene where Martin is telling Colin Farrell's character about like, you know, the sickness that's going to happen, like the music starts to rise and it rises above his dialogue and like washes out some of what he's saying, probably to like mirror how like Colin Farrell's head is just kind of swimming with like the implication of what's going on rather than really listening to him.
Who did you think he was going to actually end up killing?
I wasn't sure.
Did you have an idea of who he was gonna?
Well, there was a lot of tension between him and his wife, so maybe that.
I thought he was going to kill himself
Oh.
because when at the very end, when he like blindfolds all of them with like pillowcases or
And
whatever.
blindfolds himself and spins around with a gun.
Yeah, like
Which is like that part is like super dark, but him like doing his little tappies
Yeah.
to circle around made it like funny as well. This movie is really funny when like
it's funny if it wasn't
it's like
so
uncomfortably funny.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah.
it's like, am I supposed to laugh at this? Probably not, but it is.
But
it's
I am.
funny. Yeah, but like I thought he was just going to blindfold everybody and then just shoot himself in the head. I mean, I guess I don't know why he would bring everyone in the living room to do that.
He'd tie everyone up and kill himself, so then they'd have to get out of their bindings on their own.
I don't know. Nothing in this movie made sense. So why would it make?
sense.
I mean, it did, but like some parts are just. I don't know, man. Barry Kagan,
Yeah, I don't know how to say his last name.
he's great. He does a really good job of being like creepy and like he starts out. You think he's just kind of a precocious, like odd kid.
Maybe a little not all that mental.
Right? Yeah. Well, that's definitely true.
But he can do magic.
Yeah. But it's like, yeah, he did a great job.
Yeah, I really like him. And seeing a couple other movies he's been in, I really think he's got something going on.
Yeah, I hope we'll see a lot more of him in the future.
So,
Hmm.
shall we go ahead and rate this thing?
Okay.
All right, you can go first, Chris.
Yeah, I know.
It's it's hard because there's a lot to consider. I think I'll give it a one thumb up because it's weird and it's dark and it's like it's freaky. It's also like very unique. Like I can't think of any movie that's really like it. It takes a concept of like revenge and like just a few different like elements that you've seen before, but it's like it packages it in such a weird and like disturbing way that a thumb up is good. It's a great, well structured and everything. Like there wasn't really any point that like I felt like dragged on or like felt too long either. So yeah.
So I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna give it, so I'm just gonna start rambling about what I feel about the movie, and then hopefully I'll come to something at the end of it. But basically, I wasn't maybe my cup of tea, but there were things I liked about it. I liked that at every moment I was kind of trying to guess what was coming next. I wasn't quite sure, so it had me kind of at the edge of my seat. I know that I tend to like try to look for allegorically what was going on in a movie. I didn't really see anything, and so I was having trouble connecting. So maybe it wasn't really anything allegorical. It was just kind of just an adventure and kind of take you on a journey. So maybe that was the point of it.
Well, I guess I'll just throw out there that I feel like it's kind of about like, because he's kind of trying to hide the fact that he messed up in the past.
Yeah.
So like it's almost like karma coming back to, or like his past mistake coming back to haunt him through this boy who's cursing his family.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So I feel like that's what's allegorical or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, like I wasn't. Yeah. For me, that makes sense. I don't really. But when I was watching it, I was trying to figure something out, and I couldn't really place anything at the moment. So I'm gonna give it a side thumbs, but maybe a thumbs up. But I'm gonna go with a side thumb.
It's about
Family.
never making mistakes, or you will regret it.
Yes.
There's like bits that make me not give it like 2 thumbs up. So like I'll just do what I do sometimes and say a high thumbs up. Cuz I think it's really great. I just can't quite get it to being like a sick dog 2 thumbs up type of show.
Okay.
So I guess that's it.